Hey, hello everybody. So welcome to this video. And in this video, what we're going to do is it will be like a continuation on the previous video where we were setting up a sample Node.js application. But in this video, we're not just going to set up a Node.js application. We're going to have this other goal as well. So what our goal is that we're going to assume that our application is set up on a on-prem. We have a Docker Compose set up on an on-prem environment, and we have environment variables getting exposed in plain text. So our goal is how can we make this environment variables in a encrypted format and then decrypt it during runtime within the container itself. So that is the goal, and this will be like the folder structure which we are going to follow, and you guys can follow along. So this will be we will do each one of these, and to make it easier, what I've done is I have just kind of made a public repository so that in case you guys want to copy the code or something, you can copy from here. So make sure that you are following along. Just go to this GitHub repository, which I'll share in the description, and we can start this video. So let's start the video.
Everybody, this is the TechSchkool. Everybody, this is the TechSchkool.
So I'm assuming that you have either accessed the GitHub repository and kept it ready. Then make sure that you have Visual Studio Code ready as well. And we will start to set this up. And while I'm setting it up, I will explain briefly on why and what we are doing. So let's start with that. So what we'll do is I'll just first of all create a local folder. So over here, I can create a folder. Will be for this application in specific. So I'll just create a new folder. So I'm going to keep it the same as the one in the GitHub repository. So it is going to be called as I'll call this as Docker app. I'll just call it as a Docker app. New folder. I think I've written over here. I'll just copy this. Let's first of all create this new folder. So the size formatting. Just remove these. Space here. We made a Docker app. Now I made it in my hard disk. So let's do one thing. Let's open this now. So I'll go to my disk, Docker app. Yeah. So as of now, there is nothing much there in this folder. So we will start off with the first thing that we can create. So what will that be? Let's go here into our GitHub repository and see what we can create. So first, I think we'll start with the Dockerfile. So we will copy this name from here, Dockerfile. Then I'll go here, create this. So now I'll just increase. Just give me a moment. Okay, I just increased the font size. Now what we'll do is we will copy the contents within the Dockerfile, and we will paste it back into this place. Yeah. So here we are setting a base image. So the general structure is we are setting a base image of Node, Alpine. This is this. And then I'm setting the work directory as app. Then I'm copying Package.json into that work directory. Then running an npm install command. And then after that, we are copying all the files to this directory. And then finally, we are running the command, which is there. So this will later on get overridden by the Docker Compose, which I'll show you, which is the next step. So let's go and create a Docker Compose file. So we'll go back here and open the Docker Compose file. Yeah, I'm gonna first of all copy this. Let's go back here. Make sure that you guys follow along as well so that you guys can also get a good understanding of how this works. So yeah, so this is the Docker Compose file which we're going to create. And I'll copy this. And yeah, we're going to paste. So our as you can see over here, the Docker Compose file is having one service, and that service is app. And inside that, what we're doing is we're referencing env file, so it will get all the environment variables from this file, and then we're mounting it also. And then there is a command. This command will override the existing command, so it is going to run Existing command meaning it will override this command over here. So whenever you will set a command in Docker Compose, it will override the specific one if you're going to run the Docker Compose. So it is going to run the JavaScript application called as app. So this is the general setup of the Docker Compose, which you should get ready. And let's see now. We will maybe set up this env file now next. So let's go and set up this env file, and I'll explain you what's there within the env file as well. So yeah, so we are in this so we have got this file over here, and within this file there is something called as master secret. So what we'll do is we'll copy this file, and we'll go here, we'll create this specifically, and when we create this we have to add the contents within it as well. So copy and paste. Okay, so we have created this environment file, and what you can see here is that there is this we have set up an environment variable, and its name we have given a sample name like super secret paraphrase or something, and we are storing it here, and we are referencing it within this location. So this variable will be available within our Docker application. So that is how we are enabling it. Now we'll move further into this, so you'll start getting more clarity as we move ahead. So yeah, now we will set up the main environment variables. Go back here to this .env file, and say that, give me a moment. Okay, so now we will copy these sample values which I kept here. We'll take these and we will put inside a file as well. What we'll do is we'll create a .env file now, and within our .env file, these sample values. Okay, so these are the sample values that are in plain text right now, and in general scenarios, this is how it is stored. But we are in a scenario where we don't just want to make use of Docker secrets, because the on-prem users have root access. So we generally just want that any user, even the root user, should not be able to, at least at the folder structure level, be able to view any passwords in plain text format. That is why we have to figure this out, why this is plain text. So for that, we're going to come back here, and we're going to run a script which will be responsible for encrypting these. So this is the Encrypt.js script, and this will be responsible for encrypting these passwords to the encrypted format. So what we'll do is that we will first create this file over here. And then once we are creating this, we will copy this. Let me copy it. Yeah. So I have copied this file over here and kept. Now I will show you how this will encrypt this specific values which are given over here, like into this. So I will show you that now. Give me a moment. Okay, so now since we have the encrypt.js file ready over here, so how would we run this? Is by using the node, and then encrypt.js. So this script is written in such a way that I've designed it in such a way that anytime you run this script, it will read the env file, and whatever values are present within the env file, it will go and make them into encrypted format. So that is what it will do. So let me just show you guys. We'll do it. Make sure that the env file has the right values. So we'll copy this from here, right? Replace it. This is our this, right? So now what we're going to do is node encrypt.js. Yeah. So if you see, it is adding these values in encrypted format. We can remove these values now because we've got the encrypted values. So remove these, and now I'll store it here. So all the encrypted values are stored here. So part of the procedure is done where we've encrypted it, but not just encryption is important. We have to also decrypt it, right? So we will go to that process now. Let's figure out how we're going to do that. So we'll create a generalized, the way I planned it is that we'll create a generalized script which will decrypt it, and then we can utilize it every time. So let's go to the GitHub repository and move to that script now. So yeah, so this is the script, decrypt env.js, which will be responsible for decrypting all these values so that the applications can have this. So I've copied this. Let's create this file as well now, decrypt.js, and within decrypt.js, we have to store all the values which are there. So it is going to make use of like specific way of decrypting it. So which is a standardized procedure. So I'll be sharing you the code, so you can go through it and see how this is being done. So the key things to note here is that once this one will run, the specific code will run, it will export it. So what you can see is that it is going to export this decrypted into the module, so that any other scripts can import it and utilize these variables as well. So that is the mechanism. So after you are getting this master key passed into the system, then it will automatically go and run this specific code. And then once this is run, then every other script can access it whenever and if necessary, and then it will have the decrypted value. So that is the mechanism. So we will save this as well. So we have set up the decrypt script as well. Then now we are going to go for the final one, which I guess is remaining, is the app.js itself, right? Wait, so I forgot, I guess, package.js. We have to create package.json. It will have all the, this is specific to Node.js, so it will have all the dependencies which are necessary to run the Node.js application. So this one is important as well. So yeah, so I will add this now. We create this package.json, contents of this, to that, all the dependencies. So it's important to have this, so otherwise your application won't run. But now we have set this up. So almost most of the components are set up. Now let me just go here and see what all we have done. Yeah, we have set up the env, we have set up the docker compose env, profile, package.json, encrypt also we have done, decrypt also we have done, and the last that remains is app.js. Okay, so let's go to app.js now. Yeah, here is app.js. So yeah, so app.js is like a general script which will like show like how any other script which is there within this application or any other application can utilize this. So after you have set up everything so far, then is the part which comes where you have to, like maybe if you have an existing scripts ready, then how we can use this. So for that reason, this is like a generic one which I've created where we can demonstrate this. So what I'll do is I'll create an app.js over here. And inside this app.js, we will put these contents and we will look a little bit into what we're doing. So, okay, what I've done. So first of all, so that this can keep running, I just added a function sleep, and it will run for like 5 minutes at least, so that we can go, we can see this container running. And then aside from that, what it's doing is, you can see that it is calling decrypt env.js. So decrypt env.js will get called, and all the values that within our env will get stored here. And then any one which you want to reference can be referenced using the dot operator. So as you can see over here, here you can see that process. Wait, let me show you. So yeah, what's happened here is that we'll be storing all of these as environment variables. And then once it is stored as environment variables, then we can see over here like how getting accessed. So yeah, so I think the complete folder structure is here up and ready with us. So now it's time for us to spin this up and then see if the variables are getting printed as expected. So what we are expecting is that this console.log is printing all the variables which are there. So as of now, it won't be just for demonstration purpose. It will print in plain text. So it will show that properly during container time runtime. So what you've done is all the variables are now in decrypted format, and it will demonstrate that how app.js will be able to decrypt this during container runtime, and it will display it on the console. So that is what we are going to demonstrate now. So let's just open the terminal. And yeah, we're going to first of all build this using Docker Compose, and then we're going to run it. Okay, so now when you're going to run this, right? So first thing we'll do is we'll run a few Docker commands. Let's like, for example, docker ps-a to just check if there are any containers running as of now. So there are no containers running. Just make sure that you're in the correct directory. So you're in the directory where the Docker compose file is present. And now we're going to run the Docker compose up command along with build, so that everything can happen at one instance itself. So how we'll do is you'll write Docker. Wait, let me see if I can do this up. Not, but yeah. So what I'll do is we'll write Docker compose up, D is for detach, otherwise we'll be stuck within the container logs. So we're going to do this way, docker compose D, and then dash build. It will, first of all, it will build your Docker container, and then it will run it. So yeah, so this is how we're going to do this, and we will press enter. So let's see. Okay, so it has successfully built our container called as Docker app-1. So initially, if you looked when we did Docker ps-a, there was no specific container running, which indicated that our container is present. And now we will just do Docker ps-a. So you can see that a Docker app container has spun up just less than 1 second ago. So now we'll check the log. So the logs, so how we have written our Docker compose is that it should run app.js. So we will go and check app.js. So app.js has some specific logs which we're expecting it to print. So first of all, I've let it, sleep for 5 minutes. So at least for 5 minutes, I can go and see whatever is go inside the container, some experiments. So this will come handy in the future because we'll be moving from Docker. We'll be trying to do a multi-stage container architecture. So for that reason, but right now it's not important. And here is some logs, right? So for example, how are the variables looking before decryption, and like that, and how are the variables looking after encryption? So like that. So we will run this now. So what I'll do is docker logs, and this is the one, right? Yeah. So let's check the logs. Okay, so this is before decryption. So before decryption, before decryption, these were how the environment variables were looking within our container. Because as you can see that all the variables like the password and everything is decrypted within the container itself. But after decryption, you can see that it is again in plain text format. So yeah, so this is how we are using encryption and decryption. We can use encryption and decryption within our Docker. So it will come very handy in many scenarios where you have to encrypt and decrypt. So you can follow this process. And in the next process, what we're going to do is we're going to see how to make a multi-stage container and more about that. So if you have watched this video, then make sure that you watch the previous video as well, so that you get a little bit more idea on what's up. And thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you.